What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Power Zone. You guys know what it is. A little bit of a different setting, as you can see, back in the studio in Bmore. It's been one of those interesting times. You can see that the lights are on and everything. I'm in the middle of like doing a bunch of other stuff, so it's just my mind's been a little all over the place. So bear with me. But we are going to be reacting to waste management and Avis. Hey, thanks, Savvy Money Show. Appreciate you, brother. There we go. I wanted to make sure my settings are good. Can you guys hear me and see me okay? Sorry, guys. I've been messing around with a bunch of stuff and kind of got sidetracked a little bit. So just trying to get my bearings here. If you guys can hear me and see me okay, just let me know. But what's up? Looking at the NASDAQ right now, and it has been interesting day. Perfect. Thanks, Savvy Money Show. Appreciate you. As we can see, last 5 minutes have been all over the damn place. Not last 5 minutes. All day it's been all over the place. This is a 5-minute chart. Let's see here. Let's pull up. Bear with me. Yeah, so right now we have S&P 500. It is sitting flat. Dow is up a third. NASDAQ is up. I'm sorry, NASDAQ is also sitting pretty much flat. It's down 0.2. No big deal there. But, yeah, let's take a look at this. It's been, the S&P 500 has been a bit wild. Last part of the day, power hour was a bit wonky. If you guys didn't catch the email that I put out this afternoon, it was all about waste management. By the way, did you guys, anybody catch some of the, speaking of waste management, anybody catch some of the footage from the Waste Management Open? What an absolute, just craziness. Absolute craziness. Savvy bought and sold Upstart puts for 10% gain an hour. Maybe we should have held some. Yeah, Upstart, they have earnings later on this week, I think. Upstart is, so that's Upwork. I'm pretty sure Upstart did too. Yeah, Upstart's tomorrow afternoon. So, Savvy, looks like you made some money, but we can react to those earnings tomorrow as well. Let's go ahead and pull up waste management, by the way. Here's WM. Let's go into the daily chart. And you can see that this stock is, first of all, been on absolute fire. Over the last year, it's up 23%. Year to date, it's up 5%. It's had a great 52 weeks. Here's what I'll say about this. It is expensive, trading at 31 times next year's earnings, but it's also recession proof. I don't really say that word a whole lot. But waste management, you know, when we were during COVID, during other recessions, waste management just continues to crush it. Why? Well, can anybody guess as to why? Why would a company like Waste Management continue to do well no matter how bad the economy is doing? It's because everybody's picking up trash every day. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good the economy is, you still need the trash man. And waste management is doing extremely well. Obviously, there's economic factors that play into, you know, their bottom line, such as fuel, and they got to pay people. And so, you know, wage inflation and all that still is a factor. But at the end of the day, you still need to get your trash out of there. So if waste management wants to raise their prices because they got to pay their employees or they got to pay for fuel, guess what? You're going to have to do it because you don't have any choice. Waste management has figured it out, people. So I think this one is, if you guys haven't checked the earnings, what the expectations are for this one, it's $1.53, $5.2 billion in revenue. 2 upper revisions to 3 down. But honestly, this is like one of those stocks that you can just kind of set and forget, I think, in my opinion. You look at the 5-year performance, it's up 100%. And look, it's not going to be some ridiculous moneymaker all of the time, but it's just as steady as she goes, continues to go up all the time. It's not super volatile. It's, although I will say, given this is your daily chart again, I will say it's been since October. It's had been on quite a tear. So Waste Management, obviously their earnings are today, and we'll react to those. Kind of a light Monday, as most Mondays are. So this afternoon we'll have Waste Management, but we also have Avis. Waste Management looking like it's getting some action here going into the last 20 minutes or so of the close. We've got about 7 minutes to go before the close. So let's take a look at Avis as well. This is one during COVID that also went bananas. And even after COVID went bananas. If you guys haven't checked this one out, over year to date, it's also down. Last 52 weeks, it's also down. Forward PE on this is 4 times next year's earnings. Now, most of the time I would say, well, that's super cheap. This is undervalued, but not necessarily. The growth has to be there for you to be able to look at something that has a low valuation and say, okay, well, they're still growing. There's a path to profitability, and let's see if we can check some boxes off of this on a stock that's valued so low. But there's times that there's a reason why it's valued low, and it's justifiable. In Avis's case, it is justifiable. They're only growing year-over-year revenue growth is at 2%, and that might even be down this time around. Revenue growth forward is expected at 9.5%. So these earnings are going to have to reflect some sort of forward guidance that is optimistic. I'm not optimistic about that at all. Estimated earnings per share here are $4.12, $2.81 billion, and 2 downward revisions to 0 up. So not a whole lot of analysts on this one. Last time around, they came in. The consensus here, as I had mentioned, was $4.12. That would represent a slowing of growth by 60% year over year. So it's been a rough go for Avis. We come out to the daily chart, and you can kind of see hasn't been great, right? Chart does not look good at all. When we even expanded out to the weekly, you can see. And this is, as I'd mentioned, this is one of those ones that during COVID went bananas. I think you probably would classify this as a meme stock. All the way to the top here at $543.46 thereabouts was back in November of 21, and that was its peak. Had an amazing week, and then sold off, never really came back. I will say that it's held a pretty decent bottom here at around 160, and so that's kind of where we're at right now. So earnings come in and they're good. Maybe there's some upside to Avis, but I'm just a bit hesitant to just be like, yeah, hey, let's go crazy on a super speculative stock at this point that's slowing 60% year on year. A lot of short interest on this though, so there could be some short squeeze potential if there are good earnings. 14.88% short interest on this according to Seeking Alpha. So there is potential for this to pop off, but I'm not crazy about this. A couple of nice things about it is that it's cheap, but like I said, there's reasons why, and that slowing of growth is a huge reason why. So I'm a bit hesitant to say, hey, yeah, like this one's a good one. This would be more along the lines of let's watch and see how this goes on these earnings today, and then make an assessment after that, because it's not going to go straight up to $500 a share, in one earnings session, right? So there will be opportunity. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on this one, but it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to watch for sure. Is Savvy? I see there's 35 people in here watching, but Savvy Money Show is the only one talking. You guys got any questions? Anybody looking forward to anything in particular? Anything else that you're watching today, or maybe even later this week? If you guys haven't been to this channel before, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'll go live Monday through Thursday to react to earnings every time they come out. It's a great week, guys. I've got a lot to look forward to. Tomorrow before the bell, we got Shopify, Datadog, Coca-Cola. And then tomorrow afternoon is going to be another great day. Airbnb, Upstart, Robinhood, Lyft, MGM, Zillow also reporting. And then later this week, we'll have on Wednesday, Twilio, Occidental Petroleum, Cisco, Fastly, HubSpot, Upwork, QuantumScape's even in there. And then Thursday morning, we got Crocs, John Deere, Yeti, Penn National, Wendy's. And then the afternoon, we'll have DraftKings, Coinbase, Roku, Applied Materials, DoorDash. Thursday afternoon is going to be a huge day. Toast, Open Door. So it's another jam-packed week of earnings, guys. I think this is going to be a great week of earnings, even though today is going to be a little bit light. It's going to really ramp up as we head into the week. Thanks, Savvy My Show. Appreciate you. Tank asking about ASML and CRM. Yeah, we got a couple minutes. Let's take a look at that. So ASML, pretty down day to day, but this has been one that's been on absolute fire. Their earnings were incredible as well. I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about. I will say that it is getting a bit pricey. All the semiconductors are, and NVIDIA as well. But every time I say that, it just continues to go up. If you're in this and you're in something like NVIDIA already, I wouldn't get out. I would just continue to hold. If it were me, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you if it were me and I'm in NVIDIA and in ASML, these semiconductor companies, the AI craze is just getting started, in my opinion. So while there will be some volatility, I'm sure there'll be some profit taking at some point. It's hard to predict when that is. This reminds me a lot of Tesla in the earlier days, when people weren't completely sold on Tesla, but there was a lot of folks out there that bought the shit out of it, and it just continued to go in a straight line up. This is what it kind of feels like for an ASML or NVIDIA in particular, because the AI demand for NVIDIA, they can't keep up with it. And so there is all this potential for it to continue to go up. And so I just say cautiously optimistic is where I'm at on this. But you can't deny the demand here. This is just absolutely insane. Since the beginning of the year, this has just gone bananas. And I'm so hesitant to just, if you're not in it, I wouldn't be buying it up here. But if you are in it, I probably wouldn't be selling either. Earnings dropped this week. I think you might be wrong. Earnings don't drop this week on either one of those that I just talked about. You're late on ASML. They already had earnings. And unless Earnings Whispers is letting me down, I don't see anything on Salesforce either. All right, let's check in. The market's officially closed. What's up, Maltagoya? I see you there. Is Tesla a buy? I think right now Tesla's a bit in no man's land. You can see it's kind of just living in between two zones here. I would watch and see where how Tesla performs when it gets to the top of this zone around 183, and see if it holds there. If it holds there, I think it could be a good spot to grab some. Obviously, you want to keep your stops tight here, but expected move down all the way down to as low as 178. Standard deviations here, the expected move down would be around there, and then the up to the upside is 196. Now we saw this or we'll call it 197. 197, it got rejected up here back on the 30th, and it hasn't really had much strength going in to retest that resistance. So keep an eye on that, but I would say that right now I wouldn't touch it until it establishes some sort of support. It hasn't really quite done that yet, as far as Tesla's concerned. That was for you, Neiman Dog. All right, let's come in and look at waste management. Let's get to the 5-minute chart and see how it's acting right now. By the way, does anybody actually trade Avis anymore? I only brought it up because I thought perhaps maybe some of you did. And obviously, waste management's a good quality stock that I like to follow as well. Never blows anybody's doors off, but it's just a solid stock to own. You got it, Neiman Dog. You got it, my brother. 58 of you watching so far, and more of you coming in. So hit that like button as you come in the door, and subscribe if you haven't already. I just ran through the list of stocks that are reporting this week. And so if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we'll be reacting to all of those. A couple of them that I'm looking forward to this week will be Airbnb, DraftKings. If you guys caught the news, I don't know if you guys caught the news last night. As soon as the Super Bowl was over, Barstool announced a huge 8-figure deal with DraftKings. Craziness. It's so, if you guys haven't been following, and obviously we'll continue to keep an eye on Waste Management, and I'll pull up, and actually, you know what, let's do this so we can just watch both of them, because these are really the only two that anybody really cares about on that's reporting. So you got Avis on the right, and then Waste Management on the left here. Let's make sure that I got this all sorted out. Yeah. There's your 5-minute chart on Avis now too, so we can get some real-time reaction. But if you guys haven't been following the Barstool story for a while, obviously you guys know that Fat Man Zoom and I were huge on Penn National because of their relationship with Barstool, and then Penn National dropped them because of their newfound relationship with Disney and ESPN Bets. So Dave Portnoy sells Barstool to Penn National for like $400 million, $400 or $500 million, then buys it back from Penn National because of what was going on with them and Disney for like $1 or some shit. Then like 6 months later, as they have this 8-figure deal with DraftKings. I mean, say what you want about the guy, but he knows how to run a damn business. Can you believe that? That's like you sell your house, you buy it back for $1, then sell it to someone else for a few $100 million. It's just insane. It's just insane. And I don't know if I've actually taken a look at DraftKings today. It's had a good day. DraftKings up 0.5%, still climbing here after hours, and it had a huge move into the end of the day there. But looks like we got earnings in for both Avis and Waste Management. Waste Management is up, maybe not. I'll confirm on that. But Avis looks like it's got earnings in. So let's take a look at that. That's down 5% right now. If you guys didn't get the earnings were expected to come in at $4.12, $2.81 billion in revenue, and it looks like they may have missed. So let's confirm that. See if I can get that pulled up here. Yeah, so it looks like they came in at $2.8 billion in revenue, as I'd mentioned. That expectation was 2.81, so it looks like they came in just below, but we'll say that's in line. Net income was $260 million, and adjusted EBITDA was $311. Full year revenue of $12 billion. It was apparently a new record for the company. Net income was $1.6 billion, and adjusted EBITDA was $2.5, both second highest full year. Quote from the CEO: "We concluded the year with record revenue and second best adjusted EBITDA in our company's history. We've achieved this through continued demand and improvement. We finished the year with the highest volume of rentals in our fourth quarter history, and our employees seamlessly provided exceptional service. Wanted to thank the team for the efforts, blah, 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 blah." That was from their CEO. So good numbers so far, it looks like. Yet the stock's down 5%. Could this be an opportunity for the stock that's trading at 4 times next year's earnings? Let's figure out what else is going on here and why investors are selling this off. Now, as I had mentioned before, this does have a lot of short volume on it as well at 15%. That's a lot. That's a lot of short volume. So there could be, not saying that there will be, but there could be potential for a short squeeze if there's something good in this earnings report. or even in their call. So we'll see. But let's see here. Looks like they repurchased some shares, 257 million in Q4, 889 million for the full year. So just an update there. Full year revenue of 12 billion. We talked about that. So that was record revenue for them. I'm not seeing any. Trying to find earnings per share, but it's not in the report. Unless I'm just skipping right over it. Could be the case. Let's see here. We'll come back to that. Somebody was asking about ANET. Yeah, let's take a look. We can take a look at that, Sandy. Hey, what's going on? Arista Network's getting crushed. That's down 8.5%. Let's see. Looks like they came in. They beat earnings. They came in 208 versus 171. Sales came in at 1.54 billion versus 1.54. That was expected. So in line on revenue, beating earnings expectations. Q4 revenue 1.54. Yeah, there we go. Outlook Q1 was 1.52 to 1.56. Was that a miss on revenue expectations for Q1? That might have been it. They might have missed on guidance. That looks to be what the case that might be the case for ANET. Still waiting on Avis to give the rest of their numbers here. Come back to that. Waste management doesn't look like there's much happening here on their earnings just yet either. I don't see any numbers yet. Yeah, of course, Andy. Of course. Looks like they beat, but some taking profits for sure. Yeah, I think it's guidance that missed here, Snookeroo. It looks like that's what it is. And as we all know, like it doesn't necessarily matter if you beat earnings on the quarter that you're reporting on. Nobody gives a shit about that, right? It's usually guidance. What's happening right now? What's the expectations for the future? Because if the company says, hey, guess what? We just crushed last quarter, but next year is going to be a rough year. People don't want to hear that, you know? They don't want to hear that at all. So Arista came in, they beat their expectations by 37 cents. The revenue came in at 1.54, 20% year-over-year increase. That's not bad. Yeah, Q1 revenue between 1.52 and 1.56 is expected. So the current quarter that we're in, non-GAAP gross margins approximately 62%. Operating margin around 42%. Those are all good numbers. I can't seem to find what the expectation was on guidance for revenue, but I tell you what, this could be an opportunity. I might be with you here, Snookeroo. And Sandy, if you're curious about this one, it could be a good opportunity. Take advantage of some people overreacting here. Let's come out to the daily real quick and see what that looks like. So again, this is a net on the right-hand side of the chart. We're still just looking at waste management, seeing when those earnings are going to come out. But you can see that ANET, after its bounce off this low down in October, it's been on an absolute tear. And actually, let's take a look at some of the financials here. So it's expensive, trading at 43 times next year's earnings. But as I just got done telling you, it's 20% year-over-year growth on revenue. And revenue forward seems to be good too. I don't know. I think there is some profit taking here. I think this is more or less an opportunity on Arista Networks. They got good financials. The earnings don't seem to be bad. I would look at this and say, if you're looking to trade, if you're not in this one and if you're asking yourself when would be a good time to get in, think I would give it some time tomorrow to see how it shakes out, but I wouldn't be too nervous about this. Had an initial drop off. Let's come out to the back to the daily chart. Had an initial drop off of around 8%, and it's clawing its way back a little bit here. So where could it end up landing to at least maybe grab some off of this overreaction? I'm looking at maybe 260. It's sitting at 268 right now. If it continues to sell off, it comes down to around 260 and settle out. I think that support there could be a good spot for ANET. Let's come back and take a look at Avis. Avis, this is, again, your 5-minute chart here. So this is what's happening right now. It's clawing its way back. It's up. That sold off quite a bit too, but now only down around 2%. Let's see here. Avis came in $7. Holy shit. $7.10 was their earnings. They beat earnings expectations by $278, but they missed revenue, as we had talked about, by around $10 million. Which, you know, when you bring in $2.8 billion in revenue, $10 million really doesn't really matter. This could be an overreaction as well. Avis could be a buy here. Not gonna lie. 4 times next year's earnings. We talked about that, but kind of dig this a little bit. Azar is Upstart earnings today. No, Upstart earnings are tomorrow. We'll be reacting to those tomorrow afternoon as well. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'll go live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday, to cover earnings. And we got a whole mess of earnings still on the docket this week. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. I think there's a lot going on here that we can react to. Along with Upstart tomorrow is Airbnb, Robinhood, Lyft, MGM, Zillow. They're all going to be reporting just tomorrow, guys. Later on the week, there's Twilio, Occidental Petroleum, Cisco, Fastly, DraftKings, Coinbase, Roku, Applied Materials, DoorDash, and the list goes on and on and on. There's a bunch of big names. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already and you're new to the channel, because honestly, I don't think there's any other channel that covers earnings quite like I do. I don't even know if there's another channel out there that covers earnings at all. If you've seen one, somebody let me know. But I think I'm the only guy that actually goes in, covers earnings, and reacts to them all live. I just haven't seen that, unless you go watch CNBC. But CNBC can't say words like fuck. Make jokes about it. So if you want to have fun, you want to have some fun reacting to earnings, make sure you do so here on this channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you guys here and hang out, have some fun, make some money. Why not? And Waste Management, are they coming out with earnings or what? I haven't seen any numbers from them at all. Any other questions, guys? Brad dropping F-bombs. Is my one for the show. I've been trying to be better. Waste Management is at 5. Well, I tell you what, we're not waiting for that. Why is it so late? I didn't catch that. Thank you for that, Snooker. We've been sitting around here a while. Answer this last question. Hey, let me know what you think of AT&T. Got into it today for a swing entry. Is it AT&T or AT&T? What do I think Hood will do tomorrow? I don't think it'll be good. Got kids in the room. You get muted. Sorry, go viral. All right. So you are just asking about T. Yeah, let's take a look at T right now. Let's see here. This is your daily. You know what? Let's come out to the weekly. Here's your weekly chart on this one. You said you bought it at where at now? Let me double check. You said you bought it at 1680. Hold on. Entry at 1687. Eldon Rudy, you got me confused here. So did you entries at 1687, 1760 stop loss? Well, you want your stop loss to be lower than your entry. Is it 1760s where you're looking to get in? Either way, let me just take a look at this. So from a fundamental standpoint, it's pretty low. 761 is where 7.61 times next year's earnings is where this is trading. So it's on the cheap. It's had a decent year so far for AT&T standards. It's up 1.5%, but this has got such a cheap valuation that I do like it here. Growth is it's not going to be much because it's AT&T. I mean, are you kidding me? But profitability is bananas. Gross profit margins at 60%, 18.84% EBITDA, and they're improving that balance sheet as well. So 1703 is where it closed at today. Looking at the chart here, you can see there's a nice little zone here at 1751. If I made an entry here at $17, probably going to put a stop loss in at around 1575. And if you're not comfortable with that all the way down at 1575, you can shorten it up to whatever you want. 1640 might be a reasonable area if you're trying to keep a tight stop loss on this, but I don't really hate the 1702. I think you probably could have made a better entry, especially if it broke this resistance up here. But I just would have been, I think you're going to be fine. AT&T is nice and cheap, depending on what your time horizon is on that. I really like AT&T here. But guys, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I'll be back again tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. Super pumped for earnings. Airbnb, Upstart, those are going to be some big ones. MGM, a bunch of other ones that I had mentioned. Lyft, Robinhood, Zillow's even on there. Instacart is publicly traded. How did I not know that? Nevertheless, thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have yourself a great night. I'll catch you later.